Hello and welcome to today's Reiki session. Today we're going to be focusing on our emotional well-being. So in order to support that, I have a beautiful piece of optical or clear calcite in the middle of our crystal grid, which is an amazing stone for calming the body and mind and relaxing when we have our emotions a little bit in a tizzy. So I'm going to read about calcite because that also happens to be our oracle card today. Calcite's message for you is to calm down and go with the flow. Try not to fight against the flow of things. Take time now to relax and recharge. In life, there are times when it's difficult to be calm, but it's important that you try to release any pent-up emotions, such as stress or anger. It's not good for you to bottle up or repress these feelings. Once you release the stressful emotions, you can focus on calming yourself. You can calm your mind through meditation or by listening to music. Release stress in your physical body too through exercise, stretching, or walking. When you are calm, your energy lifts and you're more positive and better able to connect more clearly to the spirit world and your intuition. You can also attract and manifest more things in your life if you are open, relaxed, and calm. Calcite comes in many different colors. Each color is associated with a different chakra. Calcite helps to reduce stress and release fears. It is also a grounding stone which helps you to open up and go with the flow. I'd like to invite you now to go ahead and allow the eyes to close. Get yourself nice and comfy as we begin our Reiki journey together today. Let's just do a quick scan of the body. Just taking note of any areas of tension where we might have been holding on to stress. Let's also just acknowledge any of those stressful feelings, particularly if any of them have been kind of spinning around or presenting themselves a lot more frequently than usual in recent days. I know there's a lot of upheaval at the present moment, a lot of uncertainty, and so it's easy to get kind of wrapped up in that emotional hype of fear and insecurity and all these other things. But for right now, we're just going to focus on where we are, because right in this moment, we're completely safe. Right in this moment, we're completely supported. Right in this moment, we have everything that we need. So the heart chakra in particular will be a focus today, so pay attention to anything going on in that heart center, the middle of the chest. That's energetically where our emotional seat is, and so we may be experiencing some changes in the flow of energy in that area as we go through today's session. We're just going to begin by allowing the body to relax, reminding all the muscles and nerves that they don't need to fire right now. They don't need to hold tension. They don't need to prepare to fight or flee. We're just going to pay attention to where we are in our space, perfectly comfortable and perfectly safe. To support our emotional journey today, I'm going to apply a little bit of adaptive, which is the calming blend, to the wrists here on your behalf. And I'm also going to apply a little bit of peace, which is the reassuring blend, to heart center, just to support us in releasing all of this excess charge that we've built up. Allow the breath to be nice and slow and deep. You have nowhere else to be. Anything else that needs to be done can wait. This is your time. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult when our nervous systems have been wired to respond in a certain way because of historical or previous experiences that we've had. That doesn't necessarily mean we can't rewire ourselves to be less reactive to the world around us. Just because the energy is high with some kind of anxiety or stressful experience, that doesn't mean we have to follow it. That doesn't mean we have to go along with that flow of energy. That doesn't mean we have to run away from it either. We can experience these emotions completely safely and just acknowledge what they have to tell us. So many times fear and anxiety, it's just a warning, kind of like an early warning system or an alarm system on your house, letting you know that someone's trying to come in. Fear does the same thing in our bodies. It just lets us know that there's something going on that we need to potentially be concerned about. Sometimes it's nothing, sometimes it's a legitimate concern. And it's just our body's way of saying, hey, pay attention, this could be a big deal. And again, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It all depends on our individual responses. But just because you've responded to fear in a certain way in the past, or had a fearful response to certain events in the past, doesn't mean that that has to be the way things work forever. You can always rewire, you can always rewrite. You can tell the fear, thank you for making me aware. You've done your job now, and you can dismiss it. That's one way to process through fear. Just allow it to tell you what it needs to tell you. Acknowledge that it's there, instead of ignoring it and allowing it to build up. We're just going to acknowledge its presence and thank it for its message and send it on its way. Oftentimes when we're able to do this, rather than go down the rabbit hole of fear and anxiety and stress, we realize that we have tremendous power over our emotional response. And oftentimes we realize that whatever it is that we've been responding to or reacting to rather than responding to is often not something that warrants that level of high anxiety or stress. It will take some practice to get there. It's not a lost cause. You're not hopeless. There's nothing wrong with you. This is how we've been trained to respond. The beautiful thing is we don't have to do what we've been trained anymore, especially if our training is not for our highest and best good. So in order to best promote this calming practice, we're going to let go of our stress in a kind of a different way today. So I'm going to invite you to bring awareness to your whole body. We did a scan earlier, observing any areas of tension or stress. And we're going to do a progressive muscle relaxation to start releasing some of that excess energy. So I'd like you to focus your energy on your feet. And I'd like you to curl up your toes and clench up your feet. Really engage all those muscles. I will say that if you're prone to muscle cramps, this may not be the best thing for you to do. And you'll definitely be wanting to have some magnesium nearby, preferably in spray form or some kind of topical form like a lotion, in order to best support your muscles through this process. And if that's not available, definitely get yourself some electrolytes after this, just to make sure that you're nice and balanced after this process, so you don't end up with cramps. So you're going to squeeze those feet, and now you're going to engage those calves, tighten those muscles in your calves. Really tighten, and then release. And now you're going to engage the thighs thighs. So the feet, the calves, and the thighs, all engaged, all squeezing together as hard as possible. And then release. And now we're going to engage our hips, our butt, and our abs, and we're going to squeeze all of them together in conjunction with our feet, our calves, our legs. We're just going to squeeze all of those muscles, make them tight, make them tight, make them tight, and release. And now we're going to move up and we're going to begin to engage the arms as well as the shoulders. And you're going to kind of crunch yourself into a little ball as we go through this process. So go ahead, begin to engage. Squeeze all those muscles together. Squeeze everything tight and release it. And now you're going to engage the muscles of your face as well. So we're going to begin the process again, engaging at the feet, bringing that up to the thighs and the abs, and you're bringing your arms up and squeeze everything together. Squish your face and then release. Take a nice, slow, deep breath and notice how you feel. Is there any difference now in the way that you carried tension and stress before versus how you feel in this moment? Sometimes when we engage in that tightening or that condensing, that contraction, and then allow ourselves the opportunity to expand after experiencing that contraction, so that physical release of energy after that experience of tightening all the muscles, sometimes that promotes a deep, deep sense of peaceful relaxation, which is what we're going for today. Sometimes we have to experience a thing before we can allow it to release us, before we can choose to set ourselves free from that experience. It's definitely an exercise you can practice at any time, as often as you need it. Do remember to relax and take deep, slow breaths after each contraction experience. And also, if you need it, have your electrolytes handy, your magnesium lotion or spray on any areas where you feel might be particularly affected by that experience. Let's go ahead as we close and take another scan of the body, making note of any areas that have changed in this process. Just observing any differences in our physical body and our emotional being since we've had this experience together today. And let us conclude with our 3 slow, deep breaths. You can place the hands on the belly or perhaps one hand on the chest, one on the belly, in order to monitor the depth of the breath. Deep breath in and release. Another deep, slow breath in and release. Last time, deep, slow inhale and release. You can begin to bring movement into the fingers and toes, allow the eyes to flutter open, and begin to come back into this space and time so that you can return to the tasks of your day. I hope that you feel significantly calmer, and as I said, you are more than welcome to repeat this exercise as often as you need it to help release any excess tension or stress, discharge that contracted small feeling so that you can be the expansive being that you've always been. Thanks again for participating today. May you be well. Namaste.